still boggles my mind. If a girl wants a guy who's older, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who's younger, it's creepy and immature. If a girl doesn't want to date a short guy, it's a preference. If a guy doesn't want to date a girl that's overweight, he's an asshole who's not focused on the things that matter. If a girl wants a guy who can take charge, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who will submit to his lead, he's, you guessed it, misogynistic. If a girl sets a boundary, it's empowering. If a guy sets a boundary, it's controlling. Women have preferences, men have something wrong with them. This isn't a double standard, it's just illogical. So why does anyone accept this?
A man's body count is not as important as a woman's body count. A lot of women are trying to act like it's the same thing. It's false. You're mad because you're already too far gone and you can't unsleep with all those guys and undo all those things you did. And so you're trying to act like it's this similar thing. It is just not, okay? Scientifically, it's not. Science can tell you women release oxytocin when we have sex. We bond. So every time you have sex with a man, you're bonding with him. You're having sex with multiple guys. You're not the same woman as the first time you had sex. Absolutely not, okay? So men want women who don't have those multiple bonds and experiences with all these strange guys. You've let men enter you. That's something that's very precious. You acted like it wasn't, so don't be mad that men still value that.
The reason a man would be insecure about a woman's body count, my friend, is because they're insecure that they're not going to be able to satisfy the woman as well as the other men in the body count.
Actually, I'd be more concerned about the fact that your oxytocin receptors have densified to the point where you can't effectively pair bond. I'd be more concerned with the abnormal levels of sexual discipline and inhibition that emotionally healthy women tend to exhibit. I'd be more concerned about your impaired judgment when it comes to selecting a mate. I'd be more concerned about the fact that you're so desperate for emotional validation that you will willfully give your body to anybody. Concerned about the fact that you don't even receive orgasms from most of the men that you've dealt with, because if you did, you would keep that guy around, seeing as how elusive female orgasms typically are. I'd be concerned about the fact that I'm dealing with an emotionally unhealthy woman who likely suffers from substance abuse and depression. Concerned about the emotional baggage. Concerned about a hidden STI due to your increased risk. Concerned that I just increased my chances of divorce by 30%. Concerned that I just maximized my chances of being cucked. Concerned there's no long-term benefits dealing with a promiscuous woman.
Gotcha, bitch!
When our children tell us who they are, it is our job as grown-ups to listen and to believe them.
Now, I'm afraid it don't work that way. You can't let a young'un decide for himself. He'll grab at the first flashy thing with shiny ribbons on it. Then when he finds out there's a hook in it, it's too late. The wrong ideas come packaged with so much glitter, it's hard to convince them that other things might be better in the long run. And all a parent can do is say, wait, trust me, and try to keep temptation away.
I do hold more accountability on our mothers.
That's a fact, because we're getting raised by our mothers.
Because our mothers raised us to be that way. Understand the woman, open the door for her, and all of this. Be nice, work for the woman, and take care of her, and take care of your kids. And if she has kids, take care of her kid. Be a stand-up man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that same mother is teaching her daughter, get yourself a job so you don't need no man. This, that, and third, so you don't need no man. So you don't need no man, so you don't need no man. Now we got a whole community of women that's being raised not to need no man, but they got a bunch of men that was raised to want the woman and work for the woman. So in all, our mothers has failed us as men because they raised us to chase women that they taught to reject us. So we don't win at all.
Chris, you're a single guy, right?
I am 37 and single. Nobody plans that. Right? No one's in high school going, I'm just going to wait till the end and see who's left. It's hard to even find a single 37-year-old woman, and then when you do, they have a tendency to fall into three categories. They're either A, super career-oriented, successful chick, so I'm out. Right? Those girls are looking for a guy that owns a suit. I have a pair of slacks. I don't know where they are. The second category of women single at my age are divorcees, and those women are like Chernobyl. They're beautiful, but something bad happened, and now we all need to leave it alone for a few years. And the last category of women single at my age are women that have been single the entire time because their therapist hasn't quite got their pill combo locked down, and they still have episodes where they'll break into your apartment and set fire to kittens. I don't even have kittens, man. She brought them.
Chris Porter.
Why don't you ever talk about the men that don't pay child support?
Because it's women like you who spread your legs for guys like that. Why don't you ever talk about the responsibility of women who choose irresponsible males to procreate with and then complain later when they're irresponsible?
No.
The women who have a one-nighter with a bartender or a guy on a motorcycle or a musician, and then you complain later on the guy's a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat to begin with.
Why nobody can ever talk to you because you don't let any
people talk to me all day long. You can't talk to me.
No, I'm trying to talk to you and you're talking over.
Dear, don't tell me how to do a radio show. I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't need your help.
Oh, okay. Let me. Can I please just say this? I was married once before, okay? Mm-hmm. My husband and I had a child together.
Right.
After I was tired of him beating me for 2 years, I left him.
Really? But why did you tolerate it for 2 years? Can you tell me why you tolerated being beaten for 2 years? I'd like to hear about this.
My answer to that is because I was young and stupid.
Okay, I agree with you.
There you go.
You were stupid. No doubt about it. And now what are you going to complain that he doesn't pay child support? A guy who beat you for 2 years? Imagine that. The guy is irresponsible.
Right.
He beat me for 2 years, and now that deadbeat doesn't pay.
So why is it my
There's your big concern. Now we see why you're so upset about this. You chose a manifestly irresponsible, violent individual to procreate with. Then you're amazed that the guy doesn't send you child support.
He didn't beat me until
you're still, you know what, dear? You were young and stupid. Now you're old and stupid.
The truth about being alone. I didn't want to tell this story, but per her request, she wanted me to tell it. Brace yourself. This is a hard one. Young lady reached out to me and she said, Joe, can I tell you my story? I want you to share it with me. Share it with your people. I said, yeah. She said, I was diagnosed with cancer. I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. She said, no. But let me take you back. She had an amazing man. We was building together in our 20s. He just wanted a child. He put me through school or helped me through school. And I told him, just let me get my bachelor's degree and get my footing and we can start our family. Then it was, let me get my master's degree and then we'll start our family. I kept putting it all. Let me get in this career. Let me get a certain place in my career and then we'll start our family. And she said, Joe, I grind, man. And that man waited for me. He was a good man. Never cheated on me. Good provider. He wasn't a college man. He didn't never go to college, but he was a good dude. A couple of years went by. He was like, okay, I want to have a child. She said, I don't want any kids right now. You got to make more money. You got to make this. You have to do this and do that. And he was like, I'm good where I'm at. So then she told him, you're not on my level. I want a divorce. I need a man on my level. She got a divorce. She went out there and had her hot girl summer. She said, girl was like, girl, go find your man on your level. He wasn't on your level. It's funny how your girlfriends will always co-sign your bad behavior. And it's funny how your boys will always co-sign your bad behavior. They'll always steer you in the direction of destruction. I never trust people like that. But she went out there and did it anyway. She said, Joe, I was with this man, that girl, that man. I was doing me, I'm making 6 figures. I'm out here, I took the pill, the pink pill, you know the one. Just like men take the red pill, she took the pink pill. And she said one day she was feeling a certain way and she blew it off. She went to a routine mammogram and they found the lump. She had breast cancer. And it hit her. She said she was so much in shock that she thought she was still married. Because she was like, okay, I'm going to go home. My husband's going to do this. It didn't dawn on her until she walked into her home that she was alone. So she said the man she had at the time, she told him, he was like, babe, we're going to do this. We're going to beat this. So it started treatment. She said 2 treatments in, that joker was gone, Joe. He was like, I can't handle this. You know? She said she started getting sick and, you know, she getting weak and she couldn't do certain things. And I asked the question, I said, what happened to your girlfriends? You know, your girlfriend, she said they fell off. It's funny how reality set in and all this stuff that people say in front of everybody, they don't do it. So she said, because I wasn't having mimosas and lunch and brunching on the weekends anymore. I was sleeping in the bed. I was in treatment. She said, I was so weak, Joe, I had to hire someone to put a bed in my living room to help me. I had a bucket to do my business in because I couldn't make it to the freaking toilet. He said, then I got the news that my ex-husband was getting married, had a baby on the way with a career woman. She said, Joe, I never felt so betrayed in my life. She said, everybody told me, oh, don't choose no man. You don't need no man. Always choose your career. Always do this. And they don't tell you that you can do it all. And this woman showed me she could. She had a career. She had a husband who I know is a good man. And Joe, I said so many lies about that man. And he still offered to help. And I felt bad. And she said, I felt so betrayed by society and the world because they don't tell you as a woman that you can have it all, that not every man is the same. That sometimes, you know, you got to look deeper. And I didn't. I was so consumed with materialistic things. Now I got this big house. I don't have no children, Joe. And she said, it gets worse. And I'm like, I'm looking at the phone like, it can get worse than this. And she said, the doctor told me they got to do a total hysterectomy. And I'm not a woman, so I don't know what that means. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, Joe, every hope that I had to give a man at least a child was gone within one phone call. They don't tell you this, man. They don't tell you. They tell you all the fun stuff and everything to get you in the door to stupid city. But they don't tell you when you get in there, there's some bad stuff that can possibly happen. And that goes for men too. Because it's that good woman and it's that good man that's going to be there to help you through those times when something happens, just in case. See, marriage is not about money and cars and all this other stuff. It's about when the chips are down and when just in case you have built up enough equity and relationship equity that you can help each other. That's what it's about. All the other stuff is fluff. Because if you die, they're going to sell your home. We live in America. They sell your home and some other family will live in it. You will cease to exist. You die. Someone gives away your clothes to the Goodwill. That's what happens. So I ask you, the hot girl summer worth it? Is your attitude and your need to be right, your anger, your position, your disposition on life? Is your being a player, having a bunch of women worth it? Because let me tell you a story about my homeboy, just in case you may think differently about men. My buddy died alone, player from the Himalayas, been a player all his life, died alone. And because he didn't take care of his children, there was no one there. They found him in his apartment. and his mother, and because his mother and his father is older and he wasn't calling like he's supposed to, they thought nothing of it. Until his mother got that phone call and says, hey, you Mrs. Williams. Mrs. Williams said, yes, we regret to inform you that we found your son. He was stinking up the apartment. Is it worth it then? Y'all got this relationship stuff wrong. You got it wrong. Take care.
When someone comes up and says something like, I am a god, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a god. I just told you. That's who I think I am. Would it have been better if I had a song that said, I am a nigga? Or if I had a song that said, I'm a gangster? Or if I had a song that said, I am a pimp? All those colors and patinas fit better on a person like me, right?